services and none to be provided. So I would ask again why that particular block is going to be turned into an old people's unit when it was not back when we discussed this 2 or 3 years ago. And the main principal reason against it was too far to the shopping amenities and older people really like to be able to walk to the shops.
Sure, I think that's not territory land. That's currently got a lessee who sublets it to the AFP. The AFP have it for another couple of years. They're moving their main facilities. You may be aware they've been significantly funded over the previous years. They're moving a lot of their facilities into the Majura Valley. And so ultimately, this is our understanding at this stage, is that that site will be vacated in a few years. That lessee is looking at his options as to what he can use that site for. And I suspect, Bob, at the same time that they were talking to you, they were talking to us about the proposal to have an aged person's retirement village there, going from low care to high care. In terms of services that are provided on a site like that, and the facilities, they provide medical services for the
whole community.
Use that site. In terms of the broader issue about medical services to the community, I agree. It's an issue. It's not one the planning authority can deal with. But in terms of what we understand, that lessee is looking at post the AFP vacating that site. Is what we're aware of is that they're looking at a retirement village to go from low care to high care with the supporting medical services for it.
Is it zoned accordingly to that? Because I agree wholeheartedly with that gentleman in the sense that there's more to community than just an old people's home. And these people need the community support. You need to be able to go for a walk to the shops. They truffle across from Miranjani now, to over 60, and they can walk to the shops. They can meet their friends for a cup of coffee. Stuck up there, you might as well dig a hole and bury them. Do they have to get approval for this sort of thing? Has his lease actually been okay to go ahead and build that, or who has to really say on that?
It's just a proposal that the lessee has at this time. Some aspects of their proposal require the territory plan to be buried to accommodate. Some aspects don't. So they've had this, as Bob Sullivan mentioned, they've had this proposal going on for a couple of years, and I suspect they're doing what a lot of people at lessees are doing. They're just keeping a watching brief. This is a little bit more detail in some of those areas. This is around the Bahai and Seek area, in particular. Gives a bit more detail about Cotter Road, the buffer area around that, and the Rana School. That's the area that Paul was talking about. That he's got concerns for is over. Is that the one Paul you're talking about? Yep. That's the area that Paul's been talking about, is overlooking their site and have issues with that. Would like us to consider further, and the Minister to consider further that as for open space.
Yeah, our concern is mainly for the 5 houses just above between the Bahai and
those ones?
Yeah, only those 5. And the rest
those 5?
Don't matter.
Okay, take that on board.
It's the rich part. On the other side, you can build as many as you want.
Can we put a slide on I think that gives an idea. Bruce? This one is...
Just quickly, what's the proposed sizing or upgrading of Cotter Road going to be? Because when developments like this have been put in Sydney, they've found that the road ends up way too small and they can't enlarge it because all the houses encroach. Now, we don't have any transport out, any sort of buses out here at the moment. You said wait for the houses. Again, in Sydney, when this has been done, they've put all the houses in, no roads, no buses, no trains, no nothing. So,
I'll give you, just in that section of Cotter Road, if you go back to that one. Yeah, the intention here is that's the connection, sorry, I'm on the way people in. That's the connection that we're talking about onto Cotter Road, and up here a little bit is the is the Defence Services College. The intention here is that on the lee side of this intersection would be bus stops, and those bus stops would be part of a trunk network which would go into the city. So it would cater for public catchment here. This road would be 2 lanes either direction, and you see that we've provided a fair bit of buffer space either direction. So you've got 2 lanes either direction plus pullover lanes for the bus stops, so they can pull off out of the lanes. Plus they go into and that's a signalised intersection there to be able to manage that intersection. So there's plenty of capacity at this stage.
Sorry, just a supplementary. If you're going to make so much, a good deal of width on there, will you be putting bike lanes on both sides?
Absolutely. Trunk cycle paths are part of our, whenever we do roads in greenfield areas, cycle paths, trunk cycle paths wherever we can, whether they're on road or off road, and we're looking at both in the Mollo, certainly in North Weston and the first couple of suburbs of Mollo. Will be well catered for, including horses. So we're trying to separate horses from bikes and pedestrians.
While we're discussing this, could you tell us how the houses further north will access Cotter Road?
If you just want to further north, that's it. So here you've got Cotter Road, and sorry, there's Cotter Road. Switch around there. That's the the forestry headquarters there, and there's street and drive there. That's the pond. At the moment, there's a gross pollutant trap there.
Up by the defence roundabout, so the whole lot meet there in one.
So that's at the moment the roundabout's about here. The intention is to signalise that intersection here to provide access to South Cotter Road and North Cotter Road. This area here has access for a bus through, around and across and into Molongo. So it provides bus services servicing both this area here, and off into the new suburbs of Molongo.
If you're going to put traffic signals on that, what is now a roundabout, why wouldn't you put them on the one down on Street and Drive? They're both going to carry similar amounts of traffic.
I suspect that they will be both signalised. So that'll be signalised, and that'll be a roundabout.
Yes.
So roundabout signalised, still there, left hand, free left hand, and then signalised there.
Can I ask about the water situation? How much more provision of water on Mount Oakley are we going to have?
In terms of water,
water storage on the hill.
I'm not quite sure about water storage on the hill. Water storage is provided as needed, so as it reduces, it's pumped up, so it's a top-up system as far as water reservoirs goes. But in general, as far as water provision goes, in the ACT, the government's got a broader plan for water storage and supply, which is it's quite a dam. But in the meantime, regardless of whether development happens here in North Weston, residents will still continue to want houses, whether it's at Gungahlin, whether it's at West Belconnen, or whether it's in New South Wales, in Tralee or in Google. It all comes from the same source, and it's an ACTU-AGL supplied water source. What we're proposing in Molongo is a much more, in terms of other areas, much more sustainable urban pattern and settlement as far as its footprint goes.
In terms of, you've got the traffic flow nice there, so that way you should be fairly well set up to completely block the single lane area of Cotter Road on the way into the city or anywhere out. And while you're building up this area, you've got the magnificent Glenlock car park, interchange, which has been improved by going from 2 lane to 1 lane. I mean, surely you're going to have to think about a little bit more than just the internal roads.
No, absolutely. The trunk roads are one of the key focuses at the moment. In terms of this intersection, there's a lot of modelling going on. As you know, currently going along Cotter Road, you stop anyway. So I suspect the stopping would be of a similar ilk and time frame.